Hi, in this video lecture we are going to see about the Darlington amplifier. So the aim of this topic is how to improve the input impedance of an amplifier. In many industry applications and biomedical instrumentation applications, we need high input impedance. That is why we try to construct the Darlington amplifier and other methods by which the input impedance of an amplifier could be improvised. So we have seen in the last class common emitter configuration, common base configuration, common collector configuration, and we did a detailed comparative analysis of C, CB and CC. So out of which we know that the CC amplifier has got high input impedance and low output impedance. So CC amplifier has got the high input impedance. So this is one of the feature, or we want to, or this is one of the feature that is being demanded in industries. So we try to improvise this input impedance because we'll get it in the order of some few kilo ohms, and industry demands will be in the order of few mega ohms. So we see that how it could be improvised. So this can be improvised by going for a Darlington pair or by bootstrapping techniques. So these two are the techniques by which you can improve the input impedance. So first we'll take up the Darlington pair. So far if you have cleanly observed in the previous lectures, so any load that is being connected at the emitter, it would get reflected at the input side by HFE times, because IB current, IB through the base the current is IB, but at the emitter it is HFE times IB. So any load that is being connected at the emitter will be reflected by HFE times. So that is what we have used in your Darlington amplifier. You can see here two CC amplifiers. So emitter is the output. So this output is now at the output. Again I have another CC configuration. So you know that the CC configuration has got high input impedance. At the emitter, when you have the high input impedance, then it will get reflected by HFE times. So the overall input impedance will be now high. See here, this is a transistor Q1. So at the emitter, this will act as a load. So at the emitter of this transistor, your Q2 along with HRE, this will act as a load. So already this is again a CC configuration which has got high input impedance. So this, when it comes as at the emitter, so what happens here, the input impedance is found to be very high. Okay, so we'll see how this has been happening. And this is a CC configuration. You can see the common collector. Collector is connected to the highest potential. Okay. Next, we will draw the AC equivalent circuit. So we know that the AC equivalent circuits are obtained by removing your DC source and short circuiting your coupling capacitors. So we have done it. Next, we'll replace your transistors configuration with the small signal equivalent. Okay, small signal model of your transistor, and we'll try to compute the various small signal parameters. So I have replaced your transistor 1 with this small signal parameter. Since the analysis is complex, I am going with the approximate model. I don't include this R0 now. That will lead to complex analysis. To make the analysis simple, I'll take only the approximate model of your BJT. Okay. So you can see here, this is a CC configuration. Collector is been grounded, and at the emitter, this is my transistor Q2 which is been attached, and you can see the collector is been grounded. Okay. So this is your Q1 transistor, this is your Q2 transistors, and this biasing resistor is from your input to the ground. So now first we'll find out what is the input impedance. So you can see the input impedance is going to be nothing but it is R pi 1 plus, you can see some impedance here which is ZB. Okay. So the current through here will be, it is HFE1. Okay, HFE1, or it is GM1 R pi 1. Okay, so GM1 V pi 1, which will be the current. So either it could be this. Okay, so this and then this total impedance. Okay, that is going to be the input impedance. So now we take up the input impedance Zi. Zi is equal to Vs by Is. And what is my Zi? It is Rb parallel, it is R pi 1 plus Zb. So Zb will be the input impedance of your transistor Q2. And what is my Vs? It is V pi 1 plus Vb2. Okay, so your transistor 2, the potential from your base to ground. Zb is equal to Vb2 by Ib2. So which is nothing but it is R pi 2 plus Gm2 R pi 2 Re. Okay, you can see here. So what is my Vb2? My Vb2 is the potential from the base to the ground. It is the potential from base to the ground. So it is V pi 1 plus Vb2. Okay, so that is your potential. And you can see that Vb2 by Ib2 is Zb. And what is my Vb2 by Ib2? It is R pi 2 plus Gm2 V pi 2 into Re. Okay, so I take this as it is Ib2 plus Gm2 V pi 2. Okay, and V pi 2 is nothing but Ib2 R pi 2. So you get it as 1 plus Gm2 R pi 2. Since your Gm2 R pi 2 is going to be greater than 1, I can consider 1 plus Gm2 R pi 2 is approximately, it is Gm2 R pi 2. So I have to taken this as Gm2 R pi 2 into Re. Okay, so that is nothing but my collector current or my emitter current is approximately my collector current. Okay, so base current will also be there, but the amount of base current is going to be small, so you can neglect it. So therefore we have written this as R pi 2 plus Gm2 R pi 2 into Re. And your IE1 is nothing but Ib2, which is equal to IC1. Okay, so see here, your emitter current is nothing but your base current of the transistor 2, and this is nothing but, I can say, emitter current is approximately the collector current, which is Gm1 V pi 1. Okay, so your Ib2 is nothing but it is Gm1 V pi 1. So V pi is nothing but R pi 1 into Ib1. So substituting this, we get Vb2 is equal to Gm1 R pi 1 Ib1 times it is R pi 2 plus Gm2 R pi 2 Re. So this is your Zb and this is your Ib2. So you multiply with Ib2 your Zb, which is your Vb2. Next we write Vs. Vs is equal to V pi 1 plus Vb2. So V pi 1 is nothing but Ib1 R pi 1 plus Vb2, this value. I substitute it here. Okay, so you can take out. Okay, Vs by Ib1 we can write. Vs by Ib1, which is approximately it is your R pi 1 plus Gm1 R pi 1 into R pi 2 plus Gm2 R pi 2 into Re. So your Zi is Rb parallel Z equivalent. Okay, so this is your input impedance. Here Rb will be in the order of mega ohms. Okay, your base resistor will be in the order of mega ohms. So you can see that your input impedance will also be high. You can see here your Z equivalent, it is Gm1 R pi 1 into R pi 2, and compare this value, it is Gm1 R pi 1, Gm2 R pi 2. So if Gm1 R pi 1 is of 100, so this is 100 into 100. Okay, so you get it as 10,000 times Re. Re, if it is approximately 1, then it is going to be 1 kilo ohms, then it is going to be 10,000 kilo ohms. Okay, so which is of the order of mega ohms. So your input impedance is being improvised here. Next you can see here the current gain. AI is nothing but it is I0 by Is. I0 is your IC2, which is equal to Gm2 V pi 2. Okay, so what is your V by 2 it is IB2 into R by 2. What is IB2 in terms of your VB1? That is my IC1 I can write, because IB2 is nothing but my IC1. IC1 is nothing but it is GM1 R by 1 into IB1. So IS we can consider it is approximately your IB1. Then AI becomes it is GM2 R by 2 GM1 R by 1. And we know that GM-R is nothing but HFE, right? So it is approximately it is HFE1 into HFE2. So that is your current gain. Next, the voltage gain. Voltage gain. Vs is nothing but it is V pi 1 plus V pi 2 plus V0. We wrote it as VB2, where VB2 is from base to ground. But again, if we split it out, it is nothing but V pi 2 across your R pi 2. Then across the RE, the potential is V0. So it is V pi 1 plus V pi 2 plus V0. Okay. So your Vs is equal to V pi 1 plus V pi 2 plus V0. So I can say that now comparing this, if you write V0 by Vs, then AV will be slightly lesser than 1. So that is the voltage gain. We know that in common collector, the voltage gain is lesser than 1. Now summarizing. So having an input stage as a CE amplifier, we know that it will improve your input impedance, and any element that is been attached at the emitter, it will be reflected at the input side by an HFE times, or it is GM-R pi times. Okay. So therefore, the input impedance is being improvised in case of your Darlington. You can get an input impedance in the order of mega ohms. So these two are the textbooks I referred, which is given. Thank you.